It is a bad omen to journey in poor health.
You must bounce on it, freaky style.
I give you 3 nights. This is the first.
We are neighbors now.
That's when good neighbors become good friends. I live next to
My wife,
Kylie Minogue.
she's dead now.
Kylie Minogue is not
Count
dead.
Orlok cast as James Bond.
Nosferatu cast as Barbara Broccoli.
Someone get this man an inhaler. My God, he's like.
That's the noise I make when I try to get phlegm out my throat. That might be TMI, but let's cut that out.
Hello and welcome to episode 52 of Movie On Up with your hosts me, Count Orlok.
And me, also Count Orlok. Couldn't think of anything else to say.
This is episode 52. We are going to be reviewing Babygirl today. We've both caught that, so we're going to have a nice discussion. Little sneak preview. We're a bit underwhelmed. But a film that we definitely weren't underwhelmed by, which I reviewed last episode, but Adam managed to catch Nosferatu, so we're going to have a little bit of a chat about that as well. And we've got a couple of emails, which is lovely. But first of all, how are you doing, Adam?
I'm very well, thank you. I've not got the plague, even though I went to see Nosferatu, which was good. That was a worry, and I didn't pierce myself with fear. So, what more can I hope for, really?
Literally, yeah. There's two things in life that you don't want to do: catch the plague and piss yourself. Very true.
That's kind of it, really.
Adam is working at Bournemouth Uni as a... What? Go on, give us the official title.
You might want to be set down for this one, listeners. I am the demonstrator in audio production. You wouldn't think it with my mic etiquette on this podcast, but still, they gave me the role.
I think they listened to the podcast and went, oh, goddamn, we need him on our team. We need him as our audio demonstrator. My God.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Is it nice catching up with all the lectures, though? Is Sarah Farmer
She
there?
is. She is. BBC Self Today's very own, in top form as well. Yeah, I love the team though.
She was hosting the
great.
big news the other day.
Was she?
She was on like the BBC News at 10, just hosting it properly. I was well
She kept that
impressed.
quiet. I'm going to ask her about that tomorrow.
Yeah, she was on one of the main things.
Hope they pay well. Anyway,
I hope they pay well.
welcome to the 10 o'clock news.
1, 2, That's what he should have done when he showed up and was like, I will haunt you for 3 nights.
Yeah, totally. He comes in, it's like, oh, I am Marley and Marley. It's so stupid.
Should we hit it off with talking about Nosferatu?
We
Adam?
may as well. Talking about Nosferatu rather than talking like Nosferatu, I think that might be more bearable for the listeners. Yeah, went along Monday night, Monday the 13th.
Ooh, spooky.
Very scary. And I had an absolute blast with this film, Alfie. You, I think, have a good idea of what horror I can handle. And I was thinking about it as I was walking into work this morning. I was like, how can I articulate where I am with horror at the moment? and this might sound really low level film criticism, so forgive me, but I've only now really realised that actually, yeah, the point of horror films is to make you scared, and that's kind of what puts me off them, because I'm like, well, I don't want to be scared at a horror film, and then in my mind I'm like, no, that is the point. Like, it's trying to get you scared.
Yeah.
So it does.
It evokes new emotions that other films can't evoke.
Yeah,
100%.
And that's a weird thing for me to get my head around, because I don't. It's not a pleasant feeling to feel, because I enjoy comedy and stuff that like lifts my mood, not stuff that's going to affect my sleep. So it's a really weird genre to explore, but I'm very happy that I've sort of stepped into it a little bit with Alien Romulus and now this. Between the two and some other, I've obviously seen some other horror stuff over my 21 fruitful years of life. Best believe I've seen some things, but Nosferatu is the best horror film I've seen. I've got to say, I thought it was absolutely excellent. Really, really enjoyed it.
I've been so happy that you enjoyed it, because last week trying to review it, I was struggling to like articulate, because I'd seen it quite recently as well, so I was struggling to articulate how I felt about it, and my feelings for it have only grown over the past week or two. I've only thought about it more, and I pre-ordered the Blu-ray today. I don't even have a Blu-ray player. I have a house and we're gonna get a Blu-ray player, but I bought a Blu-ray because I want it on a shelf. That's how much I loved this film, and it makes me so happy that you enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, I'm so glad you recommended it, because I really did fall in love with it. I have a funny image of you now moving into your empty house with like no wallpaper or anything, and you've just got you've got a Blu-ray player and a butter dish, and that's it.
Yeah, literally. Buying these things in the wrong order. I need a bookshelf first to put the DVD on, but no, same way we bought a butter dish, but we have no kitchen. Like.
You need curtains over the windows, you perv. What are you playing at? But yeah, where to start with Nosferatu, man? I thought Nicholas Hoult stole the show. I thought he was excellent. Every scene he was in, just fantastic. He's got such a sort of mousy look to him in this film, which is ironic given the amount of rats and mice in the film. But there's the scene where he's sat with Count Orlok, sort of 25 minutes in, and he's just unsure, and the music at that point is really great. It's so good at building tension, but also it's playful and it's a bit camp and it's gothic. And when he cuts himself like slicing that bread, which by the way, what a klutz! Like, come on, mate.
Yeah, he's clearly a vampire, dude.
You just wouldn't risk it, would you? Just cut bread on the plate. I don't know why I picked it up anyway. And he's rushing it. What do you? Anyway.
Yeah. And the way Count Orlok, like, as soon as he cuts him, he like sniffs the air and like growls and like goes for him. It's so cool. Like,
I thought that was brilliant though. Like, doesn't he look over and the fireplace statue sort of turns its head to look at him?
Yes.
And then.
Yeah, totally. The statue.
The volume sort of fades out as though he's losing his hearing and he's getting a bit faint. And I thought the whole sound design and every part of that scene is so well constructed. But oh my god, the bit that made me like sit up in my seat is when they did that shadow thing. He's just escaped him, and you see the hand of Orlok sort of creep in shadow. Even though he's locked the room and he's sort of on the floor and just panting, trying to get his breath. But the hand is going towards him, raises up, then kind of does a hook and almost possesses him to turn around and open the door to him. And then you're kind of not sure where he is. Then he's the other side of the door, and you're like, oh god, that's so cool. It's so simple in premise, and it almost sounds a bit like, all right, mate, I get, lighting techniques, well done. Yeah. But no, it's so damn cool. It's some of the best cinematography I've seen in ages. I'm trying to think, like, Dune Part 2 is the only thing that was as good last year. It was absolutely excellent.
We were speaking about it earlier, about the just the way the shots are used, and you don't quite know if it's a dream, if it's real. You don't really know what's happening, what's a dream, what's not happening. Like the bit where he is stood in the forest, and he's got obviously the backlighting, you can just see the moon, and then the carriage is heading towards him, and then rather than him just getting in the carriage, he starts floating into the carriage, and it's just like, it just puts you on your edge of your seat almost. It unnerves you because you're just like, what's going on? Like, what is this real? What's going on here? Is there something supernatural? And then, from what I remember, it zooms into his eyes, and then it does a shot of the carriage going up to Castle Transylvania, I guess. And then it starts with him again, and then it zooms out, and then like the carriage is gone, and he's opening the gate to the castle. Like, there's just some really clever fade in and fade outs that are just like, yeah, this is what, like, this makes me want to study cinematography at university. Like,
totally, it is that good that it does make me want to, like, just, you know, save up 28 grand. I'm like, yeah, I'll do a film course. Why not? It's totally that whole section. I could just watch that again right now, and I could turn it off. I'd be like, yeah, that's not to say that the stuff after that isn't good, but I really, really did enjoy that first 45 minutes. Like, I was surprised by how, like, I was actually, like, sitting up, like, squinting and properly, like, reading every single word of the subtitles. I was so engaged with it and so game for it. But it's when it, like, the camera will zoom in on the back of Frau Hutter's hair, and then it will zoom out and it'll be the back of the carriage, or just like going up the spiral staircase, and it's going up, and then he disappears, and you're like, well, how on earth did he move that quick?
Orlok disappears, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, so
he's
good.
directly behind him, and then Orlok sort of changes into the pillar of the staircase, and he just disappears, and he's like sat on the other side of the room, and yeah. So, and also, like I said, it's a little bit funny, right? There's some like weird sort of darkly sinister quips and a little bit like funny little jokes in there that keep you sort of nervously laughing. Like when the guy bites the pigeon's head off, and he's like, "Dear good God, my good man, why on earth did you do that?"
Yeah, everything that bloke says is so funny. Willem Dafoe in there playing a role that he was born to play, let's be honest. Just a creepy but kind soul, you know. The bit that really made me laugh out loud, I was the only one in the cinema, but it was packed, I should add. A small room, but every seat taken. And it's the bit where they open up the coffin towards the end, and it's not Count Orlok, it's his Renfield, right? His Herr Canuck, or whatever he's called.
Herr Knock, yeah.
And he's just been impaled, and he's still like trying to gargle and say something threatening. I'm like, mate, you've got an iron stake through your chest, but okay. And then they actually like begin to have a conversation with him. Then Willem Dafoe's character just cuts it off and just slams his fist down on the pole and like just kills him. Like, and he just yells something and like celebrates. It's so out of nowhere. It's excellent, man.
Willem Dafoe just rocks up fairly late into it and absolutely owns and chews the scenery so much. Because I think technically if we're doing it in the concept of the original Dracula book, he's technically Van Helsing. That's who his character replaces. And yeah, he shows up fairly late and just absolutely owns it. It's so good. I loved it. Absolutely loved it, man.
I really liked also the quick cuts, I guess jump scares, right? That all got me, even if I'd see them on Twitter. Every one of them. Which is just, it's kind of like, it makes you jump and then kind of laugh to yourself, like, oh, damn you, and kind of like wag your finger at the film, like, oh, you naughty little thing. But it's the one where they just start ravaging each other, like Nicholas Hoult and Lily Rose Depp.
Yeah, and she's like, you can't please me like Orlok can, and then he's like, all right, I'll show you.
Yeah. And she's there. I mean, just a phenomenal energy in her performance. I mean, the amount of seizures she has to act out in this film is insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then it cuts to her like with her eyes bleeding and her mouth bleeding out. I'm like, God, that's and I was waiting for that shot. That was one of the shots actually that I had in my head from the trailer. I'm like, well, it's not going to end yet because we haven't seen that, and I had no idea it was going to just pop up with no context. I was like, oh, okay. But mate, I don't want to spoil too much, but the ending as well. It will stick with me, that visual for a while.
It's so cool because that's the only time you see him in daylight as well. That's the only time you like get to see with full beaming like lights on, every other shot of him, he's sort of hidden, and you do get to see more of him as the film goes on. But that final shot where, yeah, we won't spoil, but what happens, it's like full showing off, like how disgusting this man is.
And I actually really enjoyed it. Also, I know people have said that Bill Skarsgård's unrecognisable, but in certain shots I could tell that it was his, it was his eyes and his sort of his way of acting.
Scowl,
I thought that was really cool. I enjoyed trying to find that.
Absolutely. And then you were saying about jump scares, because I think it did that very well, because they were very obvious jump scares, like that initial one where she's being possessed by him, and then the hand comes up and grabs her by the throat in the opening scene.
Kinky.
That is like the most blatant, right? Is the most blatant jump scare you're ever going to get, and you knew it was going to happen, and it did it. Same with when Nicholas Hoult opens his coffin, and you can see him. You're like, I know his eyes are going to open. I know they're going to open, and they do. The one on the boat, where he you see him in the background of the shot or something, and then he attacks. But then there's one time where they do a switch and bait almost, or a fake out, where Lily Rose Depp's character is in the hallway. And the camera really slowly turns. It takes ages.
With Emma Corrin.
And nothing pops out. It is Emma Corrin, isn't it? Yeah. And then it slowly starts panning back. You're like, right, now there's going to be something over her shoulder. And it never really happens. There's a little jump scare because there's another character there, but not when you're expecting a vampire shadow to jump out at you. And it's just such a slow, agonizing camera turn. And you're like, it's gonna happen. Yeah. And it just doesn't, basically.
I can't get over the camera movement in this film. I think that's what I loved. Cinematography and the cameras really brought a whole new dimension to it, because it's never not doing anything interesting. It's always panning somewhere or zooming in on something to transition somewhere else. It's almost a bit much. I can understand someone that's into film finding it a bit on the nose.
Too wanky. Yeah, absolutely.
But then I'm also I reckon a lot of people would watch this and not even think twice about it, because it's so natural and so built into the DNA of this film. I can imagine my brothers watching it and be like, yeah, it's all right. I'm like, yeah, but look at the camera movement. And they're like, and?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Show it to your parents and they're like, yeah, that was a good horror film. Whereas you show it to someone else who maybe appreciates it a bit more and is like, yeah, but look at this and watch how this does this. It's not being universally loved though, and I think did you want to read out the message from Lewis now? Might be worth doing that now rather than at the end of the emails, because he's adding a little bit of balance to our review, let's say, because Lewis wasn't as fond of it as us.
Sure. So, friend of the show, Lewis Eyre, let me get your message up. He said, "Hi both. I hear there's a plague season on, so hopefully you've escaped it." Well, Lewis, you'll be glad to hear we did. He says he was very excited for Nosferatu, perhaps with his hopes too high. A Victorian vampire film from the king of the Gothic, Robert Eggers. Don't mind if he does. He goes on to say, I seem to be in the minority when saying it was a little disappointing. Sure, visually it looks better than any other horror film you could name. The cinematography, set design and costume design are all immaculate, and that makes it an engaging enough watch, even when the story is anything but. Eggers is known for being surreal and weird, and this one only got weird in the last 5 minutes. Then it ended. Perhaps if it had been less faithful to Dracula, which we've retold dozens of times, it would have been more faithful to Eggers' vision, but at least Willem Dafoe seemed like he was having fun.
Willem Dafoe definitely was having fun, my God.
I understand his criticism. It feels like a film that is paying homage to lots of different things, but then it's already the third or the second remake of a film that is a rip-off of something else, so it's going to be derivative.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's quite important, because I was watching a Robert Eggers interview and he explicitly said he didn't want to differ. He wanted to be very, very truthful to the original film, the 1922 one or whatever. And that's exactly why he didn't get rid of the boat scene, because it makes no sense for Orlok to sail from Romania around to Germany, because he'd have to travel for about 5 years or something. And he said, I saw an interview, and he was saying he didn't want to change it. He just wanted to do a stylized up way more, obviously, but plot wise, he just wanted to follow the way the original Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror does. And I think that's exactly why it's potentially there's places where you would change the plot if you were rewriting it. But I get why some people aren't going to like this film. I do. But for me personally, and clearly for Adam as well, absolutely loved it.
Yeah. Sorry, Lewis, but I thought it was really cool. Before we move on, also Aaron Taylor Johnson, you were right to point him out. I thought he was very, very good. There's a line that really made me laugh where they have a bit of confrontation, him and Lily Rose Depp's character, and he goes, "Know your place, ma'am," and stuff like just the most cliched barking at her. Just funny.
I think, I said, I think he's sometimes quite by the books almost as an actor, and I think something maybe he doesn't stand out super well, as much as I really like him. But I think in this film, absolutely nails it. And I mean, yeah, all of them do. From what I'm aware, Lily Rose Depp, all the stuff she was doing with the possession is all real as well. It wasn't a body double. It was her. All the faces she was making, all of that sort of stuff. Yeah. Can I talk about a spoiler? Let's do it quickly.
Yeah.
Did you like when the kids died? Because I didn't think the film was going to go there, and I was like, oh my god, Count Orlok's drained the kids of blood. That's sick.
I did know it was going to go there.
Did you? Do you know?
But I still thought it showed. I thought it was going to be off camera completely, but then you see him just drop the body from like 6 feet up. So funny. Just tosses it aside like it's a fruit shoot.
Yeah, it's a Capri-Sun that he's finished off.
That's totally it. Yeah.
He's squeezed it, crunched, and
thrown. One of my favorite day.
My favorite flavor is summer fruits.
Double concentrate, be careful. So funny. But it made me laugh knowing going in that they were, their days were numbered. The amount of shots this film that coax you into being like, oh, they're so sweet, they wouldn't kill them off. There's literally a scene that starts with them saying, "Good night, mummy. We love you so much.
There's a monster under the bed. Can you come save us?"
That's enough to know. Oh, they're getting axed.
As soon as Orlok showed up and was like, "I'm gonna kill more people every night you don't submit to me," I was like, "Right, the kids are gone tomorrow." Yeah. I know it.
Yeah.
There's only so many characters in this film. Those kids are dying, along with Emma Corrin.
Again, they do the shadow in that scene as well, where he's like, "Do not awake tonight," and wipes his face. Oh, so cool. I love it. Absolutely loved it. Guess what, baby girl? Guess what? We're gonna review a film.
You're my baby girl.
Oh no.
Yeah, let's talk about this, shall we?
Yeah, let's try. Babygirl.
Let's preface it right with saying that both me and Adam think that Nosferatu, the film, is sexier than the film Babygirl. I got more aroused at Nosferatu than I did watching a film about sadomasochism featuring Nicole Kidman and Harris Dickinson, which arguably should be incredibly sexy, but something about it just didn't hit.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Yeah. Okay, so Babygirl, let's give it a quick rundown. Directed by Halina Reijn or Reijn. It's got decent reviews, I think. 76% on Rotten Tomatoes, 80% on Metacritic, so it's been fairly well received. Harris Dickinson, an actor that I've mentioned a few times while doing this podcast. I think he's always fun to watch. I think he's very talented.
We could dig out the episode where you sing his praises, mate. You've been a Harris Dickinson fan from day one, saying how you loved him in that one where he plays not the guy from Jurassic Park. What's his name? Richard Attenborough. Or whatever.
Yeah. I've liked him since
You've been singing it. Yeah.
I've liked him since 2021 when he was in The Kingsman. That's what it was. Yeah, but he's been brilliant. Even in bad films, he's probably the best part of it. Nicole Kidman in there playing Romy, Harris Dickinson in there as Samuel, and Antonio Banderas playing Romy's husband, Jacob. And that's kind of all the characters you need to know, to be honest. But Nicole Kidman's character, Romy, is the head of a big old Amazon, I guess.
Amazon? Yeah. Amazon shill? Robots and stuff?
Tesla? I don't know. All of the above.
Yeah.
And she's very focused and she seems cold and she cares very deeply for her family, but she seems to just go on autopilot. She's very business focused and that's kind of her character. And then Harris Dickinson, Samuel, is an intern. Yeah, that's the word. Comes in and he's after a someone to oversee his time there and to give him feedback and have a chat with him about how he's doing. And
have a chat.
That's kind of it. It goes from there. They end up flirting with each other, and then what was the term you used?
I don't know. What was the term?
Masochism, because it's not BDSM.
Oh, it's sadomasochism in like the dominating way of it. But it's I find it like quite by the going into this film. I'd seen on TikTok people being like, "Oh my god, this film is so raunchy. Oh my god, this film is basically straight up porn." I think it was maybe the furthest thing from it.
Yeah.
I don't think you saw a single arse cheek in this film. Like, you know what I mean? I think it was.
I want my money back.
Themes, yeah, other than my own arse cheek.
Alfie, sit down, mate. You're in the way.
Let me tell you, when I was watching it with Jacob, my boyfriend, and when we found out the name of her husband's name, I was like, "Oh, there we go, another foreign Jacob." That got a nod. But it is a sexy film because it deals with power play and blackmail and consensual blackmail and stuff like that. But I really don't think it was particularly. Yeah, the way people are hyping it up, I was expecting like something really off the wall. It's an 18, and yeah, there's obviously the whole humiliation thing, but yeah, I just don't think it was particularly sexy.
I think I agree with what you're saying. Nicole Kidman's an actress Thanks. That I just don't think I've seen all that much of, which I mentioned last week, but I don't think she was charismatic in the slightest in this film, and I don't know if it's the way the character's written or the way she performed it, but I think she puts a heck of a lot at risk, as does Samuel, and I think they're both very, very unlikable and dangerous characters. So the whole kind of point of the film that becomes more clear at the end, and I guess it's a light spoiler, but it's sort of implicit from the trailer, is they both like...
And there's nothing to spoil though, mate, is there? That's my
not really. There's almost not really a plot to it. It's kind of so what you get in the first 10 minutes is what you have for the other 80. Yeah, it's described as a thriller / an erotic thriller, right? But it's not really thrilling.
I would not say it's
and it's not erotic. So yeah, but what I did think is weird is how mixed the messages are. Because, and I've written notes here because I wanted to get this right and I didn't want to forget, but because each character feels tormented by the position they're in and the risks that they're being put through, even when they're having an intimate moment or in a room that's soundproof or whatever, and they're having sex at a bar, like, it doesn't feel consensual. And they even have a discussion about what is consent in this film, and I'm like, you've just described it, and fair enough, but that's not what you're doing. Like, I know she's shaking her head and then immediately doing it, but I'm like, I don't think that's... Maybe it is. I must preface, I'm not in a relationship that's into, domination or anything. I'm sure the listeners can tell after listening to me rant on about film for for a year that I'm not into this kind of this sort of stuff. But
you're just a young boy, Adam, a naive young boy.
I'm innocent. I'm innocent, officer. And I felt sad and scared watching this film.
I think arguably that is the point. And the whole thing is that it is definitely meant to excuse me. It is definitely meant to tap into the consent is non-consensual thing. The whole, like, clearly she's into being forced to consent, which, yeah, like you said, is, I mean, that depends on your morals, doesn't it, and your kind of relationship. But yeah, because that's it. Because then he says we need a safe word, and that's when she says Jakob, and that got a he's got the same name as you. Yeah, it's just a whole area. Maybe it's a whole area you need to explore in your life, Adam. Maybe this film's going to open some doors for you. But there is a whole world of, like, yeah, consensual blackmail and consensual or non-consensual non-consent and stuff like that. And that's clearly what is sexy about the film. It's more the themes are sexy if you're into that kind of thing. It's not like seeing Nicole Kidman's arse jiggle about or in that kind of sexy. It is, because you don't really, I mean, she does strip off at one point, but it's just all about power play, isn't it? And there's the parallel at the end where you see Harris Dickinson with the dog reenacting the scene, which I think is maybe the only bit of the film where I went, I like that. That's nice and artistic.
I hated that.
Did you not like it?
I thought that was so obvious. I was like, God, that's cringy. That's so bad.
It was cringy, yeah. But the whole film's cringy. So.
Yeah, true.
That was the only bit where I was like, I quite like the parallel. And I did expect them to start playing the song "I Want to Be Your Dog" by Iggy Pop, but they didn't. I think they're cowards for not playing that.
Yeah, they are.
That would have got a half a star more if they did start playing that for me.
Let me try and make some sense out of these notes that I've got written down because I don't want to forget them. I thought, for a start, it's very tame. I don't know what the obsession with milk was. Because she drinks milk like no tomorrow. Just ridiculous. I thought the camera's really shaky all the time and the focus is so shallow.
Absolutely.
I found it irritating.
Yeah, the shaky
it's shot
cam.
like it's a car advert, and it feels so cheap.
I thought it was like an office, like The Office, where it's like Succession is shot like that, where it feels like someone's in the room with them, but that doesn't work for a film like this at all, because the whole point of it is that it's just them two.
Yeah.
It really took me out, the blurry cam and the shallow focus and the shakiness of it for
yeah.
sure.
The dialogue. I don't know if you felt this, but I was really expecting them to click and get more romantic or more, to have some chemistry, for crying out loud. But they started out just kind of neither of them finishes a sentence. I don't know how on earth she's a CEO, because her character has no ability to articulate what she wants or have any.
She doesn't really say anything.
No one completes a sentence. Sophie Wilde's character does, and Antonio Banderas, bless him, he does really nothing wrong in this film. I don't know why she's all of a sudden so. I guess it's her kink that she's into, but I found it really insufferable to sit through. The fact that no one could finish a sentence. They'd all just be like, so you want, is this what you, because I'm confused, because, and then she'd be like, I don't, it's just when I was young, I was brought up in a cult, and Harris Dickinson would be like, but I thought you wanted this, yeah, well, okay, just, okay, get on your knees. Like, he's just making it up as he goes along, and he's not very sexy with it. He's not very domineering at all. He's not dominating. He's just...
I don't think he's very good in this at all.
Miscast, maybe?
I think it's pretty poor. I don't know, because I think it works, because the whole point is that it's a young CEO, isn't it? But the thing that just... Yeah, I just didn't really... Yeah, you're right. He didn't have, like, any, like, dominant energy, and that was the whole point of the... It's really hard to explain. I'm trying to get my head around it. Like, the way he would talk to her would not be... Because he'd start laughing, wouldn't he? Like, mid... I'm really struggling to explain this
Yeah.
one, but I just don't think it worked, and I don't think the performances on either side were very good. They had no chemistry. I thought they were gonna when sort of from the moment that they then like hugged in bed, when they were in that like shitty hotel.
Yeah.
I thought, right, now they're gonna click and understand each other a bit more, but they didn't, and it just sort of carried on being really stale. Yeah.
That's such a good way of describing. Stale is totally the word. It felt empty. It felt confusing within itself. Like, I don't know what this is trying to say, because it tries to end it on a feminist note that's like a big middle finger to the system. And I'm like, where on earth has that come from?
Where did that come from? Because it's not present in the film at all. Like, at all. Other than the woman wanting a job and like her assistant wanting a raise, and then the assistant using their affair to... I mean, this is a spoiler, isn't it? But like I said, I don't think it's really spoiling much. But they sow the seeds for it early on, and she's like, I want to raise, and she's like, we'll talk about that later. So like, clearly that's gonna, what's it, Chekhov's gun, and it, where you don't do something without paying off.
Yeah. Well,
and that's what that is. But
yeah. And speaking of Chekhov's gun, when she smells the tie and starts trying to gag herself with that doesn't come back. I really thought she was going to get tied up with his tie. No, nothing. That would have been at least like a recognisable thing. I thought like
someone was going to discover it. Yeah, someone was going to discover it in the drawer, or the husband was going to find it, or...
I also don't like... The husband seemed very understanding, very loving. This whole thing could have been avoided. Like, I don't know how long they were married in this film for, but couldn't she have just been more vocal about what she wanted? Like,
yes,
especially being
absolutely.
the CEO, you would have thought she'd have that capability.
Yeah, she just needed to tell Antonio Banderas, like, look, I'm not having good sex with you, and I also want to try some kinky stuff. And then he would have been like, okay.
Yeah.
And then she would have never had an affair.
But I just fundamentally don't get it at all. I don't get the dog thing, her crawling and like licking milk off a bowl. I don't get the standing and facing a wall for the sake of it, or the lying on your front. That's not even that outlandish at all. It's not outlandish at all. Like,
yeah, that is a thing, but in this film, I don't think it worked. Like you said, I think they just have zero chemistry, but not in a sexy way, in a way that like, yeah, he's more dominant than her, or as a higher person, or the role reversal. I just don't think they have any chemistry.
No.
As a couple, and it just makes everything fall a bit flat. And speaking about this film makes me want to lower it by half a star. I don't think it was awful. We are slagging it off a lot here. I don't think it was awful, but I ain't watching it again.
No.
I think it felt so flat, and the main thing is as well is there was no consequence. Nothing happened. I feel like I've watched this film before, albeit a more tamer version, but it just like, she gets back with the husband and there's nothing.
You know what it is?
There's no payoff.
You can find these themes in challenges. There's a love triangle that's way more sexy, and that's not even sex, that's tennis. You know, that felt more about power play and control. You know,
the chemistry between Mike Faist and Josh O'Connor eating a churro was more intense and enjoyable to watch than this whole film.
Totally. And I put in my review on Letterboxd, if you're after a film that's about an older woman exploring sexual gratification later in life and stuff, go and see Good Luck to You, Leo Grande, with Emma Thompson and Daryl McCormack from like a couple of years ago. It's way better. It's not meant to be as erotic, but it's which I think it's a very difficult and edgy genre to get right, and I don't watch a lot of it at all. Mo, if you're listening. But
hi, Granny.
Future employers, hello.
Yeah, this one's on your portfolio on your website, mate.
God, let's upload another one quick. But yeah, it was not for me, this film at all. I gave it 3 stars, but I don't know why. I really think it was boring, and
I think I might knock it down to 2.5. I also found it really annoying that they never established anyone's names. That's something that kill me in films, is that They just don't tell you names. The first time you heard her husband's name was maybe, I don't know, 75% of the way through the film. The first time you see her name is when it's on a, what's it called? When it comes on the screen on a news article. Yeah,
we should know that.
You should.
Yeah. Hey, I'm audio demonstrator.
You've been putting on people's work all day.
I'm audio demonstrator, not visual. Come on.
Aston. When the Aston... yeah, true. When the Aston comes up and with her name, that's the first time you see her name. And the first time you see Samuel's name is when she answers a phone call from him.
I couldn't even read that.
That drives me insane. Yeah, there you go. Like, I hate that always grinds my gears when they don't establish names, because I was like, well, who is this person? I don't know who they are.
Yeah, I don't understand how this film got made. I think it's problematic in a lot of ways, because I don't think it captures what that relationship should be like. I think it seems dangerous that, because they're both also, it's not just risk, it's actually like they're blackmailing to wreck each other's lives. Like he could get sent away, which he does in the end, to be fair, but he seems okay with it for some reason, I guess. And she could lose her whole company, which seems to employ a good amount of people, and she must be a millionaire with the house that she lives in, if not billionaire, and break up her family. It's like, all this for a bit of hanky panky in the office? Good God.
She encourages her daughter to cheat as well. I don't know what that's about.
Sorry, as a final note as well, I've completely forgot. The daughter storyline is so half-arsed. I'm almost like, is that a different A24 film going on at the same time? Like, did they have the secondary film crew going out filming that? Is that going to come out and it's going to be Lady Bird 2 or something? Like, what's going on? Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. God, that was scathing, mate, wasn't it? Why don't we lighten the mood a bit with the emails?
Yeah, good idea. Do you want to go first with your one?
Yeah, go for it. Lenny sent us in a little one, and I'll follow up on this as well because I've started watching it. Hey, Moving Up team, another email as I'm your number one viewer. Cheers, Lenny. And it is my review for the new Goosebumps TV show on Disney+. Now, I've always been a big fan of Goosebumps since the 2015 movie, starring Hollywood's favourite Jack Black. After that, I went and found the old TV show, which I really enjoyed, but I was terrified of Slappy and the werewolf of Fever Swamp. And then he goes on to say how he's bought the books, read a few, but not finished the whole series. So overall, he's a big fan. And then when he found out that Disney are making a new TV show, he's ecstatic to watch it. And it's pretty good. So the success of the first season, I think it was a year ago now. So it's just titled Goosebumps, and it's a Sony production. It's released on Disney+. I'm pretty happy. And after that, the new season was out. So season 2, overall, I was pretty happy with it after watching, but I can't help but feel a little bit empty. The first 6 episodes are really good, full of references to the books and great characters, but the season started to, near the end, lose quite a few plot points, and it didn't solve many of them, as well as the main subplot being related to... I won't spoil that. So he's basically just saying how it jumps the shark a bit at the end, and sort of loses its train of thought as you get towards the final few episodes of it. But he's saying, anyway, it's definitely worth a watch just for David Schwimmer, his performance in it as Anthony Brewer. But the ending really did make me feeling that I need more. Thank you for reading, and I will write in again soon. Cheers, Lenny. So this show, Adam, it's worth talking about. Have you seen anything about it?
I vaguely remember the first series coming out. I've seen the first Goosebumps film, and I remember enjoying it for what it's worth. And I did read some of the Goosebumps books growing up. They were quite full on, I felt, for children's books. I remember reading a lot of the body horror ones. One would turn into a bee, or one would turn into a cat slowly, or one would get a mask stuck to their face, and that stuff
the mask stuck
would really freak me out. but then I kind of like keep reading because I was like, oh, I must know how it ends. Like the bookish little geek I was. Yeah, I never read many, but I definitely read a handful. But go on, tell me about it.
Yeah, so so there's this new TV show of it basically. So it's unrelated to the film that came out in 2015, starring I'm Steve Jack Black. Completely unrelated to that. So it's like a reset. Basically, season 1, it's sort of like American Horror Story in the way that each season is completely separate from the other. Clearly set in I guess the same town and similar locations, but it's clearly very separate, no character crossover, stuff like that. So yeah, each episode introduces a new book basically. So I've started watching season 1. I haven't watched season 2, which is what Lenny reviewed there, but season 1, so yeah, the first episode's about one book, and then it sort of intertwines the second book for the second episode, but still keeps what happened in the first. So by episode 6 I've got about 7 different books all on the go at the same time. So there's a lot of plot lines that are all sort of connected. And then by the end of the season, where I am now, they all sort of wrap up into one major story. So there's this ventriloquist doll, isn't there? So now that's the final villain for the show, and basically all the previous plot lines have linked up to that. Season 2 that Lenny's watched basically does exactly the same. They do a haunted car, and then they do plant monsters, and then there's one about the campsite and stuff like that. I don't think it'd be your cup of tea, mate, and you don't have time to watch TV shows full stop, but it's quite good. It's quite good. I'm quite enjoying it. I think I even agree with saying that potentially it starts to slow down a bit in the latter half of the season. It's starting to lose my interest a little bit. But overall, it's quite enjoyable. It's like a nice casual watch. And there's some really fun visual effects, and it's a little bit spooky here and there. Yeah, I'm quite enjoying it, and I'm definitely going to catch season 2.
Okay. Is it aimed at the sort of same people that would have read the books? So maybe teens that are into more edgy stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the gateway to horror films, basically. This is more edgy and more dark than the 2015 film. And it's more edgy and dark than the original TV show. This is more adult. Season 1's got Justin Long in, who is a very famous sort of low-budget horror actor. He's in loads of films. He was in Barbarian and Tusk and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely aimed maybe for, I'd say probably 14, 15, 16, sort of mid to late teens. I don't think it's aimed at young kids at all. But yeah, I really enjoying it so far, and I'm definitely going to carry on watching it. And then, yeah, like Lenny said, David Schwimmer is in season 2.
That's interesting. I see why they cast Justin Long, because he does look identical to David Schwimmer. I didn't know that it was sort of aging up a bit. That's interesting.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely going for a bit of an older audience.
Okay. Maybe I'll check out the odd episode or two if I get time, but as you probably called me out for, I've got other stuff to finish first. Interesting. But
have you finished The Bear season 2 yet?
Mate, what do you think? I'm working 9 to 5. Oh, it's tough out here, guys. It's tough out here. You try and run a podcast. Actually, don't, because there's enough on the market.
Yeah, there's only 2 of us.
We can't keep up. Well, thank you very much for that, Lenny. A bit of a niche review, but I'm glad that we've got some correspondence on that, because it's nice to cover things that aren't necessarily getting the love that it deserves. So very cool to hear that. Shall we move on to another email from Joshua Brooker, friend of the show? He titles it "Boo to BAFTA, Why Amelia Perez Are Not Challengers." In true Josh Brooker form, he sent me the first draft of a dissertation, it appears. So I'm going to do my best not to stutter over this one, but let's give it a go. He says, I hope you're both thriving despite the lackluster award season this year. Don't get me wrong, there's still some good films and performances getting attention, but considering the abundance of film riches last year and that this year offers us Emilia Perez as a best film contender, it's hard to have hope in humanity. Goodness me. How do normally and nominally sane people see that misguided, offensive trash as a film worth celebrating, especially over films like Challenges, Dune Part 2, etc.? The mind boggles. But for once, I've not written in to complain about a film. Even if I were to rant about Emilia Perez, I wouldn't be saying anything different than the majority of people who've seen the film would say. Instead, I'm here to offer recommendations for a pair of films that I recently caught early screenings of at my local Cineworld. Having had to make the painful switch from Odeon to Cineworld upon finishing my degree, I've spent the last year and a half missing the quality programming of the Bournemouth Odeon. Cineworld, other than matching the secret screenings and doing the occasional preview screening, have been a poor substitute. And after only doing one preview screening in the last half of 2024 for the sublime We Live in Time, as I'm sure Adam would be pleased to hear, it makes a Cineworld member sit there and wonder if they'll even bother in 2025. However, they've started 2025 with a bang. In the space of a single week, they offered 3 tasty morsels of film preview variety to us peasants. Babygirl, Here, and Saturday Night. But as Babygirl has now made it into release, and I'm sure is going to get the Moving Up review treatment, well, you can read the future, Josh.
It sure did.
I'll offer some words of recommendation for the other 2. Here, the new Robert Zemeckis Back to the Future and Tom Hanks Forrest Gump film that dispenses with a conventional plot to offer centuries of history from the perspective of a particular spot that conveniently ends up being in the living room of a house. Over the course of the film, you see peeks into the lives of, among others, dinosaurs, Native Americans, a couple who end up inventing the lazy boy chair, etc., etc. But the film's main focus is the multi-generational story of the young family, beginning with AI Paul Bettany. Sorry, not...
Ow.
Beginning with AI.
The reason I knew that was because when I read it earlier, I did exactly the same thing.
Beginning with AI.
AI.
It's just Vision from the Marvel Cinematic Universe just crossed over. Beginning with Al, Paul Bettany, and his wife Rose, buying the home and their developing family. Although of their 3 kids, the only one worth keeping up with, Richard, played by Tom Hanks, who eventually starts his own family in the house with his wife Margaret Robin Wright. To answer the obvious question, yes, there is a lot of de-aging going on. As much as Tom Hanks doesn't fully look his age, no one with eyes would otherwise believe he's younger than Paul Bettany. No one with eyes.
Yeah, Paul Bettany, no one with eyes. Paul Bettany's like, what, 55, maybe younger. Tom Hanks, 70?
Yeah, surely.
Maybe older, like...
Fortunately, the de-aging isn't at all off-putting. It looks very natural, although I will say seeing what is meant to be 18 to 19-year-old Richard with old Tom Hanks' voice can feel a bit odd. God, that sounds like a horror film, mate. That's terrifying. The film also visually uses squares and windows to highlight different time periods in each other. Ultimately, though, the film is incredibly schmaltzy and sentimental, and in that sense is a real your mileage may vary scenario. Personally, I fell hook, line and sinker for the film's charms. It's not perfect by any means. It's incredibly... It's incredibly flawed, yet the visual flair and interesting look into relationships gets me engaged throughout, even if it didn't fully live up to the uniqueness of the film's premise. 6.5 out of 10. It's not bad, to be fair. I've not seen any screenings for that at the Odeon. Have you seen anything to do with Here?
No, I thought it released a while ago and I missed it. I didn't even realise it wasn't out yet. Zemeckis always does weird films, doesn't he? He always does just odd ones, I think. And do you know what really puts me off about this film is that we just spent 20 minutes at the beginning of this episode talking about how much we loved the camera movement in a film. And then this film has 0 camera movement from what I'm aware of. And it really puts me off because I feel like I'm going to struggle with a single shot that doesn't move for 90 minutes, an hour and 20. But yeah, maybe we'll catch it. The fact that Josh liked it is made me go, maybe it's not awful, because I thought the premise seemed stupid.
Yeah, it could go either way, I think. He then goes on to review Saturday Night, which focuses on the 90 minutes before the taping and airing of the first episode of Saturday Night Live back in October 1975. Following producer Lorne Michaels, Gabriel LaBelle, who I think played Spielberg in, meant to be Spielberg in The Fabelmans a couple of years ago. Anyway, as he attempts to get his cast to sign contracts, get his crew to finish building the sets, stop the network from pulling the plug on the show altogether, and trying to get the show on the road. Along the way, you get to see younger versions of well-known stars of the era, like Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, Billy Crystal, John Belushi, etc., as well as key behind-the-scenes personnel. To say the film is a fascinating look at TV history would be selling the film short. It's incredibly well directed, it's incredibly funny, superbly paced, feeling only 60 of its 100-minute runtime. Lorne's pressures, tension drips off the screen in a real edge-of-the-seat manner, and most importantly, it's incredibly well acted and well cast. In many ways, it's a creme de la creme of young Hollywood talent, including Gabrielle LaBelle, Rachel Sennett, Andrew Barth Feldman, Dylan O'Brien, and Cooper Hoffman. Oh, and cameo turns from old farts Willem Dafoe and J.K. Simmons. Well worth watching when it comes out at the end of the month. 7.5 out of 10. I'm intrigued by that. I booked in to see it, and I think it'd be right up my street. I've watched a lot of Saturday Night Live, mainly the more modern stuff, which I suppose is less funny and a bit worse. But yeah, I really do love watching that kind of stuff, and I love when they get like a big actor on, like Adam Driver, who just commits to it. It's good fun. So yeah, hopefully I will review that for the next week. But Josh continues by saying, as I wrap up this email, I got to say that any 7-day movie-going span where you catch Nosferatu, A Real Pain, Here, Saturday Night, Babygirl, and rewatches of Sonic 3 and We Live in Time, and your own least favourite is a film like Nosferatu, then you're doing something right. Up with a complete unknown, seeing it on Friday, and down with Emilia Perez. Best wishes, me. Nice little...
down with Emilia Perez, for sure.
Nice little reference to the old Mark Commode podcast there. That's really interesting, though. So he saw Nosferatu, A Real Pain, Here, Saturday Night, Babygirl. Are you saying, Josh, that you preferred Babygirl over Nosferatu? Ugh.
Yeah, that is what he just said.
That's
I think he gave it 2.5 on Letterboxd.
Really? Oh, I must have missed that.
Thank you for that, Josh. That was a great email summing up some films there. You took the words out of my mouth, Adam, when you said right up your street, because Saturday Night is a film I can imagine you going to see and really enjoying. I don't really like Saturday Night Live. I don't find it funny. But I know that you are a fan of it, and I mean, there's funny bits, like the bit when they had Paul Mescal on there for Gladiator was excellent, and Timothée Chalamet as Troye Sivan was really good. But overall, I'm not a huge fan. But yeah, I can imagine you going to see this film and loving it, and by the sounds of it, I think you will.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. I think it will be something that speaks to me. Even though I really don't know anything about that sort of era of TV, if I'm honest, but it'll be a good little history lesson, perhaps. So definitely,
it's where Ghostbusters started, wasn't it?
Yeah,
because it's Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray.
Yeah, you're right. Ernie Hudson.
Yeah, I think they're all Saturday Night Live people. I think that's literally where it started.
Yeah, you're probably right with that. Fascinating. Well, there we go. There's 2 lovely reviews from our good friend Josh there. Thank you very much. If you want to get in touch with the show, you can do so by emailing Alfie. What's our email?
Our email is hello@movingup.com. What's our TikTok and Instagram, Adam?
Alfie, our TikTok and Instagram is @movingup.
It's funny because Adam had to throw that to me then because he couldn't remember the email, and I had to throw it back to Adam because I can't remember our social media. We have our rehearsed points, and I can't remember the other person's.
I'm sure it's easy, but you'll never catch me send the email on this podcast.
No, thank you to Lenny, and thank you to Lewis, and thank you to Josh for messaging and emailing in. Please send more stuff. It's always good to finish off and round out with it. Yeah, send us some reviews, tell us your opinions on the BAFTA noms. Bit of interaction, guys. Come on, we love it.
Definitely. It's been a fun episode this week. Lots to discuss. Do go and check out our bonus episode on the BAFTAs, and go and see Nosferatu because it's so good.
You'll love Count Orlok's moustache and comb.
You will. And his leopard for gold.
Leopard for gold. My wife, she's dead now. Don't worry, got a new one.
My wife, I like.
What else does Borat say? What a throwback.
He must buy a bigger house. No, what's that whole bit? Hang on, let me look it up.
It was very nice, isn't it? Very nice.
Very
nice.
His wife, number one prostitute in all of Kazakhstan. Then he does the Darth Vader breathe in. As a final note before we do end this podcast, I was just going to say, I forgot to say it in our Nosferatu discussion, but someone pointed out online that the reason he breathes in such a husky way is because he only needs to survive with blood. So the only reason he breathes in any air is just so that he can talk with his vocal cords. And I think that's so dark and so sick.
That is, yeah, cool attention to detail. That's what that is. Yeah, that's wicked.
Awesome film. There we are. Say your goodbyes, Alf. Sorry, that sounds really threatening.
Thank you for listening, guys. Yeah. Say your goodbyes, Alf. Any last words?
It's the end of the line for you, pal.
Thank you for listening to episode 52, and we'll catch you on the next one.